my voice, game sound, not that we're playing anything that has game sound. But yeah, alright, people should be able to hear us, and now they can see me. Oh. And, alright, anything to talk...
Game sound, not that
playing anything. Turn off my, the audio on my phone, that way we're not just hearing the same thing, duplicated like 16,000 times. It would just loop forever. Yeah, alright, any conversation before Sudoku you want to talk about?
No.
Alright, then we are on to Stumped, which is the puzzle we ended on last time but didn't finish. So this one is normal Sudoku rules apply. Along thermometers, digits increase from the bulb to the end, and the clue outside the grid indicates the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal. Digits on the blue line have an equal sum n to be determined by the solver, within each box it passes through. In the center box, the two segments of the line sum to n separately. And this is the puzzle Stumped by James Cobb. And previously we determined that these blue squares here, are all the same, because they're the equal sum lines, and it's a single cell there. And we also ruled that because of this square here, they had to be a minimum of 5. But then we figured out this here, there wasn't any spot to be able to put a 4, because you needed 1 and 2 to be down here because of this stuff. And because of that, you couldn't put a 3 in here anywhere but here. And then later on, and that put 1, 2 here, making these minimum 3, and then 4 couldn't go on there. So that put a 4 here. And with the 1, 2, 3, 4, that made this minimum 6. So 5 ended up being up here. But I think that is the rest of that. Somehow we're saying that 3 has to be here, and the reason we know that for certain is because the reason we know that for certain is because you can't have any 2s here because of the 1-2 pair. And because of that, none of these can be a 3 because they would force a 2 here. And that would break this part. So none of these can be 3, so none of these are, so this goes 3, 4, 5, so you've got a 1, 2, 3 triple here. But since this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, 4s are the minimum that go here, and they can't go here, so we have to have a 4 here, which is going to be preceded by a 3, so you can't have 3s here. Okay. From there, I don't know what else is going on. Well, I guess something interesting we know is that the blue digit has to be one of these two. Because of these two here. Right. Ruling it out of those, so it's left in here. And it's too big to be a 1, 2, or 3, so it has to be one of those. So that leaves blue being one of those two. I mean, it's still in those squares otherwise. I guess we do know that the 3 has to be in one of these positions because of the 3's here. And with that knowledge, that immediately rules out a 6. Because you can't put a pair of 3's together. Which is interestingly going to rule our blue cell out of these two, which is going to force this cell to become blue, and that cell to become blue.
So that thermo there in column 8 gets a couple taken down.
Does it?
Well, if its lowest is 7...
But it could still
But
be
you
a
can't
9.
have a 6. Yeah, but okay, you can't start with a 6. Oh, yeah, because 6,
6,
7, 8,
7, 8,
9.
9.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I always flipped thermos that way.
It is going to rule a 7 out of here, though, because you can't put a 7, 8, 9 in this column. Otherwise, it would rule it out of the 2 blue cells possible in this column. Which also removes a 6 from the bulb. Oh, and with the 4 being ruled out, because we know that a 5 has to be preceded by a 4, preceded by a 3, now this is a
Plus
3,
that's
5
a 3,
pair.
5 pair.
Exactly. And we've got one of these is going to be a 4, or excuse me, a 5 following the 4. The other is going to be following a 6, so it's going to have to be 7 or 8. Interestingly, our 6 is going to be forced onto here, because one of these goes 5, 4, 3, but this one being a 5 makes this one a 6, so you can't have a 6 in any of these spaces. So it has to go 3, 4, 5, 6. So then 7 is ruled out, and it goes 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 9, or 6, 8, 9. Although 6, 7, 8, and 9 means, well, only on the one that's already ruled out. But we do have 6's here. And that 6 unpacks over here. And now we have a 1, 2, 5 triple. Oh, this ends up being a 6... No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I was going to say this had to be a 6-9 pair, but 9 could still be blue.
Ah. One of in box 5. One of those 2 has to be a 3.
Yeah.
4, 4. You can't. It means the other in the vertical, the column. One of those has to be 4, 5, or 6.
Well, it's not going to be this one.
It can't. Well, it can't be a 5.
True. That's what I meant, but didn't explain well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my being unclear.
fact, 5 has to go in the bottom row of that box. Because it can't go in box 4 or box 6 on the bottom row.
What is
And
left
1
over
and
in this row?
2.
1, 2, 5, 4. Clearly
Well,
neither is a 9.
1 and 2 have to go on the top, have to be those two.
Well,
Because they're. Oh, right. But they
they
have
have to
to
be
go
in the
across
top
the top.
row. Yeah. Um, whichever one is not the 3 has to be a fairly large digit. Oh, neither can be a 6. And because neither can be a 6, looking at the row, the 6 is over here, 1, 2, and 5 is over here, and a 4. One of them has to be a 3. Then the other has to be 7 or 8. So 7 is ruled out of our blue cells.
Well, and since 1 and 2 have to be on the top row, the 7 or 8 will have to go with the 1, 2.
Right. But a 6, 8, 9 triple makes this a 3, 7 pair. 1, 2,
Right.
4, 5,
And the 7
6.
has to go on the left. Because it has to go up to the top.
Right. 7, 3.
That can't
And
be
it's not
4 on
4,
the
5, or
bottom.
6. It's 5 or 6. And now 8 gets removed from these because it can't be an 8, 9 pair. This is the blue in the column. That is not located here. It'll also break the cell here. That gives us a 5, 7 pair. Isn't super helpful.
Well, mm, never mind.
5 is ruled out from this cell up here, so is 6. And in fact, the top row is 7, 8, 9. Five and 6 are both over here, as well as the last from 7, 8, 9.
Well, the elbow for the blue line in that. Um, yeah, no, never mind. Because it could still be an 8 and a 1, with that being with blue being 9. The blue
Mhm.
squares.
This is max 6 plus 9 plus another 9. Or actually, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 8. Or this isn't a 1 and this isn't a 2. This is also not 3 or 5. 4 or 6 there. Those sum to 8. Or excuse me. Whatever blue is, so 9. The
Right.
3 and 7. 5 is out as well.
In box 9,
Box 9.
the top row.
Uh-huh.
The top row can't have 8 in it because that would be 8, 9 for that thermo, which would break the blue square. Oh, unless it's the one that's above the 8.
Right.
9.
But that is true for the 2 outer ones.
Right.
That could be an 8. 1, 2, 3, 7. Six, 8, and 9 are the maximum there. Uh, 5 and 6 are definitely out of this cell. 2 and 3 are out of this one for sure. So are 5 and 6. Okay. 7, 8, 9 is 24. Plus 6, 8, and 9 is 23. Which is way over our 40 already, along with 6 and 9. 52, 58. 24 and 23 is 47. Plus 9 is 56. Plus 6 is 62. So I was off. Oh, this can't be an 8. But this can still be a 6, 8, 9 triple. Although if it was a 6, 8, 9 triple, that would become an 8.
Oh, in box 6, there's only one spot for a 7 now.
Not those rows. Oh, sure is. Because you couldn't put a 7, 8, 9. So right there. So 7, 8, 9 fixes the one spot that couldn't, or that could have that. Places a 6 here, a 2 there. Got a ton of stuff that's gotta be moved. Sixes can't go there. That's a 3, 4 pair. That one's completely cleared, so this becomes 8. 8, 9, 8, 9. Not 9s. The 7 goes down to 6. 9. There's that one. This is 8. If I can click the right buttons, also not a 9. 7 and 8 are off. And now 6 pairs with a 3, 4, 5, and 2 a 7. 4 doesn't belong in there. And I don't see any impact from over here. 7
The
down here.
elbow. Yeah, the elbow to pair with 1,
5
2, or
comes
3,
out.
5 goes away.
Six. So you have to have 5 in one of those two, and 6 as well.
Row 8, the 7 has to go in box 9.
Yep. 7 comes out of all of those, and the 2 comes out of this one. Two, 3, 7, 6, and 9, 8. Huh. And it also can't be a 5. So that's 1 or 4 only. I mean, I guess there's only 1, 4, 5, and 8. And this one's not a 1. This one's not an 8. Oh, 3, 4 pair takes the 4 out. And this is just left over as a 6. So that takes out 6 and 3 up here. Excuse me. Four is in this column, in box 3, not on the bottom row.
Box 3 can place an 8.
On this side and right here. 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. And this one's not a 7, this isn't 2 or 6.
Mm. The box 6, the thermobulbs,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that are
Oh,
followed by 3 or 4 can't be 5.
very true. Okay. Well, what about this diagonal? Do we have more information about that yet? You could put a 9 here, an 8 and a 7. And, well, 7, 8, 9 is 24. 4, 9, and 8 is 17, 21, be 45 total, plus 9, which is 54, and 6, which is 60. So we have 20 digits we have to pull off. But I guess the opposite 1, 9, 10. 10 is 20, 25, 30, 5? We have 5 degrees of freedom from the bottom, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Five and 6 is out, so is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing? Don't have an 8 there. Eight, 7, 6, 5, or 5, 6, 7, 8. One of these two has to have a 4 at the bottom, because we're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8. Which is going to pair with our blue digit. Although I guess, well, in that instance, well, if you put blue there, well, this is still 7, 8. So that would end up being a 4. And if you put it over here, then that's a 4. So one of these two is 4, so 4 comes out. Of the rest. And wherever I put the 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, only one of those will be from 1 or 2. But with 5 degrees of freedom, that means this can't be an 8, can it? 4 and 5 is 9, 18, 27, 36, 36 and 5
Is 41 already.
41, and 42. Yeah, so that can't be an 8. So this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, which makes this 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 comes out, and in fact 4 comes out. 3
And
and
that
4.
blue is now 9.
Exactly. Or not blue. And in fact, we don't even need the blue coloring anymore. And now we've got 9, and 9, and 9, which is
27.
27,
How many?
26.
13.
For some reason, I'm counting down. 27, 28, 29. 29 and 5 is 34, plus 5 and 6 should be exactly 40, so the rest is minimized. Excuse me. That we don't know, but this is 1. 3, and press the right numbers, things will work correctly, I believe. 3 pairs with a 6. Now we have 5's removed, 6 removed, so that's a 2, that's a 1. 4, 3, 4, 6, and with a 7. That 7, 2, 4, 6 over here. 2 and 6 is out for a 4, 7 pair. This one isn't a 7. That doesn't help too much directly. What's left in this box? 5 and 6, which goes like so. The last 3 digits are 2, 3, and 5, if I'm doing that correctly. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which isn't fixed yet. But this column should be 1, 2, 3, and 8, which this one's 8. This one is not 1 or 8. 7, 2, 8. 1, 8, 8, 7 there. 2, 3 pair. 3, 4, 5, 7, and one other digit should be a 1. So that one looks like it's a 5. 3, 4, 5, 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 5, 3, 4, 7, 1, 4, and I don't see a 2 which goes in the middle, a 7 which goes on top, and a 6, and that's the puzzle. And again, I forgot to hit record. Start recording. It's alright. We'll get the recording on the next puzzle. Alright, so let me go ahead and not reload the tab. I wanted to mute it so that way I can play it in the background. Anywho, so next puzzle is Slinky by Blobs. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along slow thermometers, digits either stay the same or they increase as they move away from the bulb. These are slow thermometers, which... Okay, well, I don't like this. Use a line tool. We're going to make this one blue. And make that one blue. Alright. And then just for some contrast, we'll make the other one red. Alright, that should help out a bit. And I don't think either of those is long enough, because it's just 7 long. Whereas this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But because of the... Well, actually, hold on. Those are all in the same box, so that would go 1, 2, 3. And this one sees the one before, so 4, 5, 6. Again, 7, 8. Yeah, so 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We couldn't even do the slow thermometer there. All right, well, these two are the same. That's 1 through 5. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one, not an 8. Not an 8, 6, or 7. Not 5 or 7. And now can't be 6 because it has to go 9, 5, 4. And now 3 and 4 is out, but so is...
Well, but couldn't that one also be a
6.
1? Because if it's a slow...
True,
Go
it could
1,
be a
1.
1. Could go 1, 1.
That one
Which
can't
means...
go because it can't be 1, 2, or 3.
Right, so 2 is not... I guess this one. 3 and 4.
Or 4.
2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and now 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 1, 2, 1 goes up to 5, 4, 5, 6. So this can't be 4 or 5. And I think this is forced to be an 8, but this one isn't a 9 guaranteed. I think I did that correctly. Because you got 1 is the minimum. 5 is the new minimum, because it sees 1 through 4. 6, and then this sees 7, so that's minimum 8. it could be a 9 and a pair of 9s. So this one can't be a pair of 9s. So this would go 1, still 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, 1, still 1. It can't be 2, but it could be a 3. So this can be 4. And this could still be a 4. We've got 4, 4, 3, 1, 1. And if we look at maximum digits, we've got 9. Because it sees lots of things, it just can't be an 8. So 9. This is max 5, because it sees 9, 8, 7, and 6. So below 5 is a 4, below 4 is a 3, but it sees 3, so that goes down to 2. So this can't be 3, 4, or 5, but those could both be 2s. Or both 1s. Alright. Alright, well, I think all of these operate the same. So that would be 1, followed by 2, which can then also be followed by a 2. But then the next digit after that 2 would be a 3. After the 3 would be a 4. After the 4 would be a 5.
4.
Oh, right. Because that isn't seen by the thing before it. And then we have 5. Or it's not limited by the thing before it. And then...
Although the 2 spots that can't be 4 in boxes would then become minimum 5, so the 4 goes away.
And they're on the red line, so perpetuate that up. So 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8. But this one can include 8. Not 5s here. This one goes up to 6, but it actually can't be a 6. And this one could still be a 5. And this one cannot, so it goes 1, 3, 4. And if we look at these 5s here, 6, 7, 8, 9, can't be 8s. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, can't be 7s. These can go up to 8 still, so 4, 5, not 6, 7, 8. Blue line can go up to 7. Not a 5 though. 2 can go up to 6, not 4s. This one can still be a 6, but not 3s. And then the starting point can go up to 5, but not be 2.
Yeah, and 1 and 9 for boxes 4 and 6 have to be on that inside.
That is very true. 1 and 9. And you can't put 9 on the bulb.
Well, you
Except
can
you can
on
on
the slow
these.
one if they can be... Well, you can't on the one on the left because
Right.
the last is in a box. So, yeah. But the other one could be all 3 9s.
Yeah. So we won't bother labeling these, because they could all be whatever they want. Although I guess...
That's minimum 4.
Yeah. 5 and 8 are out. 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 5 is out. Oh, 1 and 9 from the boxes takes the 1s out of these, making this a 2 and this a 2. And then 9 comes out, making this a pair of 8s. And now this 8 comes out, but it can still be a 9. This 8 comes out. This 8 comes out.
Why did it have to be 2 2? On the bottom? Oh,
because
never
this can't
mind,
go
because it
up
was a 1 or
3,
a
4.
2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
apparently I'm not. Some reason I saw it as 2, 3, and it's like, well, oh no, it can't be a 3 anyway.
yeah. Following things, this 8 takes up to 7. That's fine. This can't be a 2. Not an 8, not an 8. Okay. So I think that's all correct. But yeah, alright, so what is on here? This isn't 2 or 5. This one is much more heavily restricted. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Which means this can't be a 9. Which we already knew, because you talked about that earlier. 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. And actually, this can't be an 8 or a 7. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And since
And
this is
6 is the
max
highest.
6, yeah.
Right.
So 1 and 1 and 1 there. Placing a 1 here, taking that 1 out, which doesn't impact stuff. 4, 2, 2. All of those can still be a 9.
Row 5.
Row 5.
There's a 3, 4, 6, 7 quad.
3, 4, 6, 7. 3, 4, 6, 7. Also, 1, 5. This can't be 2 or 9, so that's an 8. 3, 4, 6, and 7. This should still have the 9 above it. Kind of regret the colors I chose for the thermos now. Although I don't know how much of this is me, but because it feels weird that this goes up as we go down, with it being blue. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I'm just gonna be silly, I guess. What's left over in the middle? 2, 3, 9. No, not 2. I don't see 7s. So we know one of these is 2. Although, I half suspect that this is all 9s. And that this one is a 1, but I don't know that for certain yet. Although, where is a 1 in this column? It's not in there. And it can't go here, and that's an 8. So that is a 1. Six in this column isn't in the middle box. That's a 1, that's an 8. And I can't put a 6 here because that's too small. Because this is max 5. So
Right, so it
6
makes
has
it
to go in
also a
here.
5.
Exactly. It doesn't impact this yet because those can be the same. But 4, 6, 7, and 9. Where this one's not 6 or 7, and this isn't 4 or 9. Do a 6, 7 pair. Oh, in fact, we know this is a 7, so that's a 6. And 7s are removed from here.
6, 9 pair.
Places a 4 and a 9. 4s.
And
1,
now
3,
that thermal was
5.
all 9s.
Not necessarily. This could still be a pair of 2s.
Oh,
This
right,
one's a
right, right,
5.
because Jeez. I was seeing it from the wrong end.
Yep.
My focus is sketchy at the moment.
3, 7 makes this a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Takes 6 out of there and 3 out of there. 5, 7, 9 isn't helpful, but we've got a 1, 4 there. What next? Alright, I guess I kind of want to inspect these just to make sure that this is still correct. Minimum 1 goes up to 3, goes up to 3, goes up to 4, goes up to 5, stays at 5, and so this can still be a 6. And then maximum 9, 8, 8, 7, 5, 5, 4. So this one's good. And then I'm going to do red on this side. 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, and 9, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5, 4. And then 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, so those are still good. Although, I guess this has all of the digits in here except for 1 and 9, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't think anything is restricted, except where is 8 in this box? This 8 removes it from this side, so it has to be on the thermos. And this box is max 7 on red, so 7, 6, 7, 7, 6, 5 rules the 8 out. And then 9, 8, 8, 7. So that's ruled out of the blue line, so this does have to be our 8, which is going to have to be followed by 8 and 9. So 9 is ruled out, 8 is ruled out, and so those were our maximums that were affected. So 7, 6, max again is 6, but you can't put a 6 there. So 5 takes out the 6 and 7. 5, 4, 3. This can still be a 3, except 4, 5, and 6, it can't be a 3. So this is a 2, which must be preceded by a 1. So 2 can stay a 2, goes up to 3, goes up to 4, can stay a 4, goes up to 5. Now, over here, where's our 2? We've got those 2, which rules it out of there, and since this one is smaller than that one, it can't be here. And this one is larger, it goes 1, 3, 3, so you can't have a 2 on the red line at all. So this is where our 2 goes, making this a 9, this is a 2, which makes that a 9, pulls those out, places a 9 here. This is not a 2, which it couldn't be anyway because of some things, but okay, so with that 2, so then that makes this minimum 3, goes up to 4, goes up to 5, goes up to 6, goes up to 8, 8, 9, and 8 goes down to 7, goes down to 6, can stay a 6, goes down to 5. Okay, so that's all good now, I think. Alright, and then just to check. 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 9, 8, 8, 7, 5. Can stay a 5, 4. And then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, can stay a 4, 5. And 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 9, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5, 4. Okay. Now, I guess looking at the 4s here, one of these two red lines is going to have to be a 4. And that's going to go 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 9. So one of these two has to be a 5. So it would go 4, 5, 5. So this cannot be a 4, because if it was, or excuse me, this cannot be a 5, because if it was, that would break the one of these that has to be a 4. Right? Okay.
Right.
So then the 5s come out of here and here, making this a 7. But since this is the maximum, it doesn't impact blue. But the 5 means this can be 5 or 6. But now this can't be a 7, not a 5, not a 5, or a 7. And then this is a 5, which isn't surprising. Takes the 5 out of there. Okay, and
Wait, did you put the 5 in the wrong spot there in box 4? Were you saying it couldn't be a 5? Because one of those
4,
has to
5,
be a 4.
5, 4, 5, 5. Correct. This is a 4. This is a 4. My bad.
Okay.
This one's the 5.
I wasn't sure if I was just reading it wrong or... like I said, my focus is sucky right now.
4, 5. Because now this one's max 3, so this can't be 4 or 5, so this is a 1. This is a 4, this is a 5. A 6, making this a 7, this is 6. 4, 5, 5, 6. Can't be that. But now this can't be 5, 6, or 7. It's an 8. This must be a 9. This is a 6. Goes down to 5, 4, 6, 7, 4, 3, 2. That could be 2 or 3 still. This is still a 5. That's good. This is a 5, which isn't surprising. This is 7 or 8, because that's all that's left in the box, making this a 3. This is 7. This is 2 or 3.
Row 3 is a 6-7 pair left.
7.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's not?
Huh? It's not a 6-7 pair. They're resolved.
Right. Okay, so 6, 7. And then what's left over on the top over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7, 3, 4. And then I don't see 1.
2, and 9.
9. Place those. And now the 7 fixes this. And lots of things are done as well. I don't see a... I was going to say a 6, but that's a 6. 9 here. I don't see a 1. 2, I don't see a 3. Can be an either.
And
8. 3, 8. And then these two, 1, 2,
7.
3, 7. 2, 3. And 4, oops, goes here. And 6 finishes the puzzle. Yeah, that was a good puzzle. And it says it's correct, so I don't need to go back and check anything. So, awesome. Alright. Click over to this puzzle, and then we will mute and play that video in the background. Alright. This is it. I've Done It. By Eric Rathbun. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cages show their sums, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. The digits along each arrow sum to the digit in the circled cell. Cells joined by a white dot contain consecutive digits. I have 2 of those. All right. Excuse me. Where to start? Where to start? Alright, well, the only cage that really restricts anything is our 11 cage over here on the left. It can't have a 9 in it. Alright, I think this puzzle is going to have some set theory done to it. In fact, we're just going to do the 3 boxes in the middle, or we can say the 3 middle rows. Either way, it doesn't matter. So our red and blue cells along the arrows, because the arrows and their circles sum to the same thing, so we can take those out from both sets. I'm not explaining it as nicely as assignment does, but that's all right. And these are in both sets, we can take those out. Now, I guess there's a part of me that wants to go ahead and add this back to both sets. And the reason for that is now we have a definitive sum for all of these. Now, red, if we were to include, say, this 7 into red, would be 3 sets of 24. And if we don't include the 7, we can subtract that, and we get 24 times 3 would be 72. Subtract 7 is 65, if I'm mathing correctly. And if that is 65, then what is in blue? Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, D5. Red, 7, 8, 9, except for all the spots that can't have 7s. And 11 can't have a 9 in it, so that makes that an 8. And this has to be 1 and 2. And this has to be 4, which is 1 and 3. Sweet. Well, 16. If I were to make this 9, I'd have 7 left over, which would be 1, 2, and 4.
I can't do that.
Oh, right. So this ends up being a 7 then. So that makes that 8, 9, 9, 8, and 7. And I don't think I need any of the coloring anymore. Although I might leave it just for funsies. So, we need 9 and 3, which has lots of options. Although, this 1, 3...
You only have one of 1 or 2. Cannot have both.
Right. And this one can only have 1 of 1 and 3, and it can't have both.
Right.
But the options for 9 are 1 and 2 and 6, 1 and 3 and 5, or 2 and 3, and 4. But since it always includes 2 of the digits from 1, 2, and 3, then this digit here must be 1 or 3, and this digit here must be 1 or 2. And then, since it must include the other 3, then we need 6, which is going to be 4 or 5. This is going to be 2, which now I need 7, which is either a 6 or a 4. I think I did that correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the one in the top can't be. It would have to either be 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be 1, 2, 6, and the one, yeah.
Because it definitely can't be 1, 3, 5. And if it's 2, 3, 4, the 3's over here. And if it's 1, 2, 6, the 1's over there. Yeah. Similar logic applies down there. Alright. Now that that's been resolved, where do we look next? Well, it's not super helpful, but this 1, 2 has to end up on this arrow, and this 1, 3 on that arrow. But I don't know if that means a lot, because it's just a single digit.
Right.
Okay, something interesting. With these arrows, where can this pair of arrows be? Well, it has to be from these 5 digits. And then where are these 2 from? Well, they're from these 5 digits. Well, if I were to imagine that this was a 1-2 pair, that would make that 17, which isn't possible because we've got an 8. So the max here is 16.
Which you can't do.
Oh, right, 7, 9. This would be at minimum 6, and that minimum 9, which is now 15. Okay, so 15 and 3 is 18. Although I'm not sure why I'm looking at that. But this is the smallest. I guess the reason for that is imagining that these 4 are these 4. And those is 7, 9.
Yeah.
We know that the
Well,
7 and
not
9 have to be
necessarily.
from these 3. What about the 8, 9 in this box? It's not there, not there. 8, 9. And our 7, 8. Less helpful in the middle box. Because these could be very large, but if we look at these two, if I imagine that they're a 7, 8 pair, then that would be saying that these sum to 15. Which, I mean, this is a 4, that would just make that 11. At 10. And if these are a 7, 8 pair, this would be a 5, 6 pair. And you'd have 4 and 2 left over. This would be 1 or 3. Well, this would have to be... well, it can't be 1 and 7. It could be 3 and 5. It could be 1 and 6, but it couldn't be 3 and 4. But then the other 1 and 3 would be over here. That's 1, 6, or 3, 5. In the instance that this is a 7, 8 pair.
All right. In box 7,
Down here.
the arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. If the circle for that is a 7, then it has to have, you can't have 3, 4, because 3 has to be in the 9.
Right.
It would have to be 1, 6, because you can't do 2, 5, because that would leave you with only 8.
Yeah.
So it would have to be 1, 6. If it's 9, it would have to be either 3, 6 or 4, 5. Well, it can't be 4, 5. Because otherwise you're left with only a 3. So if that circle is a 7 or 9, because it's not guaranteed that it is, because it could be.
Yeah.
Then that would have to have a 6 on the arrow.
Mm-hmm. Although,
But you don't have the restrictions there.
Yeah.
In box 3, how does that break down with the 7s and 8s there? If it's...
Wait, we said the 3 was removed from here, right? The 3 was forced in here?
Oh yeah, the 3 is forced on there.
So this can't be a 9 ever.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, that's a 9 down here. Okay. If this were 7 or 8, for
2
7,
has to be.
it can't be. Could be 3 and 4, and it could be 1 or 6.
Right. And if it's 8, it can't be 2 and 6.
It would have to be 3 and 5. But that's not
Nearly as helpful.
T. Yeah, not nearly as helpful. Hmm. Just double checking the 9 down here. Well, okay. 7, 8, 9. But 1 and 2 would be removed.
Yeah, if.
Oh,
What?
this has to have a 1 or a 2 up here.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Because this cell is one of those two. And since it is one of these two, it has to go in here. If this were a 9, this would have to have a 1 or a 2 on it. But 1 pairs with 8, and 2 pairs with 7. You can't put 7 or 8, so you can't put 1 or 2. So this isn't a 9, and this is. Which, now this isn't a 9, so this is. And now 7 has to go in one of these positions. And this has to have a 1 or a 2 on it. So that would have to be a 6 or a 5. But
The other
this
one
this
is going to go.
say again.
This arrow. Yeah, the arrows have to go in. The 1 or 2 goes on the left, and whatever's left over goes on the right. So on the right with that 9 is going to pair a 5 or a 6.
Here.
Yeah.
Well, technically, whatever other digit pairs
Oh,
in
right. It
here
has the possibility of
could
going in the other
be on
circle.
it. Yeah, because where can these digits come from? Here or there? And where are these digits from? Well, they're from these 4 locations now.
All right, but if let's say the top one is this. Let's say the top one is the 7, and that the 5 or 6 goes in the circle. Um, if it's 5, that would have to be 1 and 4. So that would have to be 2 and 5.
But that would break this one, wouldn't it?
2. Yes, that would break that. Okay, so if it's a 6,
Um, Well, it's just the other of 1 and 2, and then the 4 or 5 pairs with that 4 or 5.
well, if it's 6 that's in the circle, then the arrow above it is 1, 6. Because it's 7.
Right, right,
So the
right,
1,
right.
5 comes out. So it would have to be 2, 4. Well, it can't be 2, 4. Oh, yeah, it is. 1, 3, 5 is
Yeah.
9.
So that's a possibility. And you can do 2, 4 up here as well if this 6 ends up there.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, this one can't be a 3, and it can't be a 4. So this is 5, 6, or 7. And so if this is a 7, this has to be 5 or 6.
Yeah, but it couldn't be 5.
Right. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 is ruled out by the fact that this has to be a 3. And then 1 and 4 would make this a 2, and this a 3, 5. But 3 and 5 is 8, and 2 is 10. So that makes this 1 through 6. 3 is ruled out. Well, if it was a 7, we said this had to be 1, 6. Because 3, 4 is ruled out. And 2, 5 would make this 3, 4, which is 7, but this would be a 1. Okay. And then if it's 6, 1, 2, 4, 5.
Well, if it's 6, then the other circle has to be 7.
Right. And that would make this 1, 2, 5, 6. But this
2, 5 would
this
not work.
could
It would
be
have to be 1, 6.
right. So this is 1, 2, 4, 6. Yeah. And 2, 4 does work with 3, 5, and 1.
So if the top circle is 7, doesn't the top nail have to be 1, 6?
Say
Because you
again?
can't have two.
Right. It couldn't be 2, 5.
Right.
Now, if
So
this
one
was
of
a
those two,
7,
then it had to be 1, 6.
the
One of
6 was
those two
ruled out
has to
of the
be 1,
middle.
6. Right. So 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that's going to rule out 3 and 4. But you can also you can make this be a 5.
Right. If that's 5, the other
Wait,
is 7, which makes 1, 6 on the arrow.
where would 5 be in this column if this was a 5? It can't be the 9, 8,
There
or
wouldn't be.
7. It wouldn't be in the same box. This 7 would be a 1, 6, and we can't put 5 on its own arrow. So now that's a 6, 7 pair. We know the 7 is 1, 6, and the 6 can't use a 3, and the 5 would pair with the 1. But again, we've got a 1, 2, 4, 6, so this is a 3, 5 pair. A 3, 5, and 6 is out, so now it's a 4. And that's 13. So this is 7.
7.
And 3 and 4 is ruled out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, not quite. Although, where's 9 in this box? It's not in this side, and it's not in there, it's not there, that's 9. Where's 9 in here? Has to be in the middle row, and can't be on the arrow. And you can't put a 9.
Can't be on the
crop
crop
dot. And so where's 9 in this box now? It's not on the right 2, so it's one of these 2. And one of these 2. But this one could be 9 and 8 and be fine.
Right.
Except, where's 8 in this box? It's not in the 16. It's not on the arrow, and it's not a 9. So 8 is one of these 2. This cannot be an 8, so this cannot be a 9. So then we get 9 there and there. Okay. 3 ends up being in this column. Well, what is left over for these 2? 4, 7, and 9 are all out by Sudoku. 1 and 2 is paired up here. 3 is forced there. So this is 5, 6, or 8. Because this is either 1, 6, and 2, 3, 4, or this is 2, 4, and 1, 3, 5. Would make that a 6, 8. And if this was 1, 6, 2, 3, 4, would make that 5, 8. Okay. Wait, if this is a 6, where do I put 6 in this box? Because this is a 6, so it's not there. It can't go on its own arrow. 7 and 9, and we already ruled 6 out of there. So this is 7. And that makes that 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So this one becomes 6. 1 and 6 is ruled out, so that's 2, 4. And this is 3, 1, and
8.
6.
No. 5. Yeah.
And then over here, I've got whatever's left over. 2, 4, 9, 1, 3, and 6. And you can't put 7, 8 in the top row, so that's 5, and those aren't. Alright, well, going here.
And that 9 arrow.
This one? Oh, 7's pulled out of there, so that places a 7 here, which means it's not 3, 5. So can this be 8? 8 and 9, 4 and 7 and 1. 2, 6, 3, 5. I don't. Well, we know that it has to have a 1 or a 3 on it. So if this was an 8, it would have to have a 3. So 2 and 6 make that 3 and 5. Was there somewhere else you wanted to look? This 9 arrow?
Well, yeah,
Or,
but then I realized that you were looking at the Kropke dot between boxes 1 and 2.
yeah. But if you wanted to look at this one, what were you going to say about it?
It would have to be either 3, 6 or 4, 5.
Is the 7 and the 8 rule out the 1, 8, and 2, 7. Alright, now looking at this Kropke dot. 1 would pair with 2, 3 would pair with 2 or 4, and 6 would pair with 5 or 7. Which looks fine.
Yeah.
Okay. One, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. This is 5, 8 pair. Alright, well, what can this circle be? It's not 1, 2, or 3. It's not a 9. It's not a 7. It cannot be a 4, because that would be a 1, 3 pair, which would break our 7 up here. If it's a 5, it would have to be 2, 3. Which is theoretically possible. A 6 wouldn't work, because it has to have a 3 on here. Or excuse me, a 6 could work if this was 1, 5. Actually make those a 1, 5 pair, but because a 1 or a 3 has to be up here, because this 1 or 3 forces a 1 or 3 down there. And 8 is 3, 5. I guess this could still be 1, 4 for 5. No, it couldn't be a 1, 4.
Right, that would break the 7 arrow above it.
Okay, so it's 2, 3, 1, 5, or 3, 5. One, 3, 7, 9. One of these are 8. One isn't a 6, and this isn't a 4. And again, if this was a 5, where would I put 5 in this column? I can't do 2, 5 here. That's a 7. It would be in the same box here, and you couldn't put it on the arrow. So that couldn't be a 5. But this could be a 6. This could be a 6, because I would put 1 6 up here. But if this was 1 6, I couldn't put 1 5. So this is an 8. Why am I... That's 5, that's 8.
And 8 is 3 5.
Exactly. 5s come out, 3 and 4 comes out, 6 comes out, 2 and 4 comes out. That's 11. This is 10. 5, 4, and 6. 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. 7 and 9. So this is a 2, and that's an 8. This was 7, so that all actually resolves real quick. Take this 5 out, but that doesn't finish that. Alright, well, 5s and 5s means 5s there. So this is a 3 6 pair. 6s and 6s, put 6s down here. Places that there because of this 6 here. Takes the 6 out, which means it can't be 1 2. So this is 2 4, which is 6 pairs with 3, because that's 9 left over.
Well, box
actually,
5
that would have done that already. Box 5
has 3 4 5 left. Can't be 4 in the circle because of the 3 6. Oh, yeah.
This 3 took 3s out, so that's 3 1 2.
Right.
Those
The
got
2
fixed.
1 2 takes the 2 out of the cropky dot.
And it's going to take the 1 out as well.
Right.
1s and 1s take the 1 out here, placing it there. 6s and 6s are going to put 6s across like that. This one can't be a 6 because of that. So this is a 6. This is a 4. It can't be a 2 because of the 1 2. So 2 4 7 6 2 4 3 1 2 1 6. What's left over? A 3 is on the bottom and a 5. It doesn't seem to be breaking anything. What's left over in this column? I don't see a 2, and I don't see an 8, which looks fine.
Column 9 needs a 7.
7.
1 2 4.
It's going to place the 4 up here. Because can't put a 4 with anything.
Right, yeah.
This is 3 and 5. So 1, 2, and it makes this an 8, a 2, a 5, an 8, a 3, a 5, a 6, a 3, a 1, a 6, a 4, a 3. And I think this puzzle's resolved. So I don't see
Needs
a 4
a 1.
there. A 1 in the top row, and
7.
a 7. And alright, this didn't include the solution. So,
That seems so weird anymore. Was that an
yeah,
older
it
one
definitely...
where they did that?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Because this one is here. This was from July last year. Or at least it was featured on the Cracking the Cryptic channel in July last year.
Right.
It doesn't mean it was created in July last year. Regardless...
And I don't know when they added that feature where it shows you, oh, this is correct.
Yeah. It was a while ago, but I think it probably took a while for some people to do that. I'm not sure. Regardless, I guess the things that we can do to check to make sure we're correct is the clues. So this is 11. That's 20. That's 21. That's 13. That's 16. That's 16. All of our cages are correct. Our 2 crocky dots are correct. And then these all seem to be correct. And then the rest is just Sudoku. So that is the solution to the puzzle. I don't even need to look at the other one. However, Seems pretty similar. Alright. Stream can't see me flipping back and forth. That's it. Alright, anywho. That puzzle was solved. And so we're on to the next one. Mute. 0. Play. Alright, next puzzle. And we've got about 24 minutes left. In the Proximity by Lizzie01. Normal Sudoku rules apply. A purple line contains a set of consecutive digits in any order. Along arrows, the digits add up to exactly one more or less than the digit in the circle. So it's not the same as the digit, it's one more or less, which is going to be a tad annoying. Because, well, if that's a
So
Renban, well, we know 9 has to be. Yeah, you still can't put a 9 on an arrow like this one.
Right.
Because the minimum would be 9-1, which is 10, which is fine, except for the fact that I can't put a 9 here. This arrow over here, I could put a 9 here, a 1 here, and a 9 there. And that would be fine. But that means this is 7, 8, 9 in some order. And 3, 4, 5 is what's going to happen here. And you can't have an 8. This is either 3, 4 for 7 or 4, 5 for 9.
Right.
Except
one more
in the
or
proximity.
one less.
So, because this is either 7 or 9, this has to be 8, doesn't it? Because it can't be 7, because then it wouldn't be 7, it would
One
be 9,
more or
which
one
is too
less
far
than
away.
the digit in the circle. Right.
Yeah. So that is 8. That's going to be brain melting. This is the first 3-cell arrow in the same box that I saw, so that's 5 through 9. Can't be 8 because of the 8 in box 5. But now this could be 10, so this is 1 through 7. Although, if this was a 7, and this was a 1-2 pair, you couldn't put the 7 and the 2 on the same Renban that's 3 cells long. That would be 7, 6, 5. But this could be a 7, and you go 1, 2, 3. So, neither of those are 7.
Or 6.
Yeah, because you could do 6 and 1, 3. But 6, 5, 4. Right, cool. 6 is out. I guess that means that this is now max 6 here on the end of the Renban.
Right.
Okay. Where can... I guess, what can these be? They're not 7, 8, or 9. Can they be 1? Well, the minimum here is 3. The minimum here could theoretically be 3, and the same here. I guess not 3. The minimum here is 4, and the minimum there is 4. So, this can't be 1 or 2, because the minimum's 4, and that's too far away. The minimum here is 3. So again, that's not 1. It could technically be a 2, though. Except, if this were 3, then that would be a 1-2 pair. So this isn't a 2. A 3
would mean that that's either 2 or 4, and it can't be either one, because 4 would be 1, 3.
3 is ruled out. You could do 1, 2, and 4, or 2, 3, and 4. So 4 works. 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and 5. And to make 6, I could make this be 5, which is just all of the things that make 5. Or I could make 7, which is just not a 1, 6. Okay, what about these ones? They're now max 7. And well, they've got 2 others. So, and the singles can't be a 5.
Well, in the one that comes down into box 8,
Mm-hmm.
the bottom of the arrow can't be a 5 either,
Right.
because it would have to have 2 1s.
And I think this one can't either, because those would be 2 1s. Cool.
Now, in box 6, if one of those circles is a 3,
Yeah.
since you can't sum to 2, it would have to be a 2 and 2 1s. So you've got a 1 2,
Mm-mm.
which takes 1 2 out of the possibility for the others, which makes 7, which makes 3 4, and 1 is 8. So you can't do that.
So you're saying the one on the right cannot be a 3?
Well, because
Well,
it
no,
doesn't
both of
matter
them.
which one
Because
you're
this one would
looking
be a
at,
1
either
2.
one of
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Because you'd say 1 2 here, which makes 3 4 minimum plus
Takes
1 is 8, but their max 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay. That
right. So that's now
makes a
4
ton
5
of
6
sense.
triple.
So this is a 4, and this is 1 2 3. 2 and 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6, so that's still possible.
Now let's see. For 4, 1 2 1. No. If the circles on the right add to 4, either one of them, it has to sum to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that have to be 1 3 and 1?
A pair of 2s and a 1.
Yeah, a pair of 2s and a 1.
But we just
But
said that
1
a
2,
pair of 1 2 breaks the other.
right. So 1 1 3. So a 1 3 would leave 2 4 and 1. That would work. Okay.
A 1 here would force this to be 5, so that would be 6. But 1 and 3 makes this 6, and 1 for 7. So, wait, just to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. If this was a 4, right, this is a pair of 1s and a 3. This is now minimum 2, 4, which is 6, plus 1 is 7 to make this a 6. This has to be a 5, which I would have to make it 4 or 6, but I only have 2 and 3 left over, which is 5, so that breaks. So, the same thing happens here. 3 in a pair of 1s, 2 or 4, and 1 is 7, a 6, but this has to be a 1, and
Right.
2, 4, and again, I'm left with 5. So, neither of those can be 4, so this is, and, well, I've got options
1,
over
2.
here. Because this could be
Right,
1
it's
and
1,
2.
2. It's 1, 2, or 2, 3.
Yeah.
So the 2 has to be over there.
Correct. There we go. 2 comes out over here. Now we know that this is minimum 10, 11, 12. The maximum is 13. The minimum 10 plus 2 is 12. But this is 11.
Well, if you go down on both of them, that would make 4 and 5, which is 9.
Right.
Which you can't go down for both.
So because it's either down 2 for 9, plus 1 and minus 1 for 11 again, or plus 2 for 13. So these have to be 13, don't they? Because they're minimum 12.
Right.
And I can't make 12. So I only have 1 degree of freedom. That forces this to be a 1. And I could put a 5 in here, but this is 1 or 2. 2 or 3. Renban can't be 1, because that would run into 2, 3. 2, 3, and 4 means the minimum here is a 5. And 5 through 7 or 9 through 7 forces a 7 on there. This is either 10 or it's 11. So 1 through 3 is on here. And that's not a 4. So this is minimum 5. Plus 1 is 6. Subtract 1 and you get 5 again. Although that's not how that works. So with this being minimum 5, I could put a 2 on here and subtract 1, and then that makes this minimum 6. Because I couldn't put a 5 on here. That would mean the minimum here is 6, but that would have to be done with 5 and 1. I think that logic is correct.
Okay, in box 5, there has to be a 1 and a 2 on there somewhere. They can't be on the same arrow.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 is going to have to pair with the 6 to make 8. Because 6 would have to pair with either 2 or 4 to go with the... To make 8, 8 would go with the 7 because you can't go under the 7
Right.
if you're using a 6. And 9 would have to go to 8 or 10. So 6 would have to go with 2 or 4.
Right.
If you have a 1, it can go with a 5 to go with the 7. So it's going to have to be 1 5 and 2 6, isn't it? In some order.
Because the 4 is guaranteed over here. So
Right.
you said that the 6 has to pair with the 2.
Right.
And then the 1, because our
Since it's going
numbers
to
are
have to
10,
be...
8, and 6. We can't get 10
Yeah.
because that would be 1, 9. We can't make 8
Can't
because
be
that would be
8.
1, 7. So it has to be 1 and 5 to make 6.
Right.
Okay. I like that logic. That gives us a 3, 4 here to take that out.
And that doesn't help one bit at all with the... Well, 1, 2, 3... No. Because there's still a possibility of a... It's 6 digits up there.
Well, this has to have a 1 or a 2 on it, which means that
Right.
this Renban can't have 1 on there.
Cannot have a 1. Or a 2.
It could be 2, 3, 4 because 1 and 5.
Right.
But it can't have a 6. Because if it had a 6 on it, it would have to go down. Because we already ruled that this had to be maximum 6.
Oh, right.
So 3
6,
and
5,
4
4
is on there. Because it's
All
1,
right. Now
5
the
or 2,
minimum...
6.
Okay, yeah, that still works.
But now this is minimum 7. Or 5. 2 and 3 is 5.
Right.
So this becomes maximum 5.
Right.
Oh, this has to have 1 or 2 on it, which pairs with this 1 or 2. To take out 1 and 2 from there, and here. So now this is a 2, 3, 4, 5 quad, takes a 5 out of that. And this can't be 3, 4, 5. It has to be 2, 3, 4. So our 2 and 6, and our 1 and 5. And this is 6, so this must be 7. This is 8, so now that has to be 9. And yeah.
Well, and 2, 3, 4 triple in box 2
7
makes a 5 on the
5.
outside of the...
Yep.
So it's now
So
going to have to sum to 10.
right, because if I were to put a 4 on here, it would be 4 and 2, which would be 6 and 5, which is too big. It's 11. That gives us a 9 here. That. And well, this can't be 6 and 9.
Well, and the one on the left can't be a 5 anymore because it can't go
Right.
to 7, and it can't go down.
And if this was a
And it can't be
6, it would
6.
break. So this has to be 7.
So it's either 6-8 or 6-9, or
Yeah.
8-9.
5. This one's not 1 or 2, the 2 makes that a 1. The 1, 3, and 4. Which
1
3, 4,
and
9, 8, 7, 2, and
6,
5. Yep. And what about
7
over
and 8.
here? 1, 6, 7, 8. Still can't put a 9 on here, because you can't put 9 and 1 together to make 10. Oh, this is a pair of 1s, and this is minimum 10, which is 12, but we said that it had to be 13. So there isn't a 4 on here, it's a 5. So 3, 1, 2 pair, 5.
5.
And now this is 6.
Plus 1.
Is 7. And this is 4 plus 2, which is 6 and 5. Cool. Easy days. 6, 8, 9 places a 4. 4 goes in that group somewhere. Well, this is now minimum 6. If this was a 6, I couldn't put a 1 here to make 7 to then make this a 6. But I could do 6, 1, and to make 7, plus 1 is 8. Um, 1, 2, 3? 2 or 3? I think, is the only possibilities for here, because
Yeah,
with the
6 and
6,
2 for 8 goes with the 9. 6 and 3 is 9 to go with the 8.
yeah. And I can't put 1 or 4. And 4
Right.
would be the
And
maximum of
5 would be too
6.
much.
8 has to pair with
8
2,
would pair with 2.
make 9. Alright, 2, 3 pair. Doesn't do a ton. Although, if this was a 4, this would have to be 1, 2, or 2, 3. But this wouldn't be able to be 2 or 3. So this would have to be 1, 2, which is possible at the moment. Okay. Can't be a 4. And 9 and 2 is 11, which is too many. I think with the flexibility of the plus 1, minus 1, I don't know if we can restrict that anymore, can we? I'm going to say we can't. Flip
Yeah,
over
it's
here. 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is minimum 7, 3 on the bottom and a 4 on top. So this cannot be a 3. And I don't think there's a way to make 8,
No, there's not.
in which case this can't be a 7. Because if it's minimum 7, then I can't go down to 6. And if I can't make 8, because I can't do 1 6, or excuse me, 1 7, 2 6, or 3 5, then
And you can't have 8 or 9 on the arrow.
right, because 8 would pair with 3 to make 11, which is too much already. You could do 3 7 for 10, would allow for a 9 on the circle. Could
3
also do
and 6
4
is
and
9 for an
6.
8. Yeah, all of those work.
Right? That red band just doesn't have 1 or 2 on it, or 5.
Now, row 9, the 1 has to be there in box 7.
So the 1 has to be over here.
Yeah, it cannot be on the arrow. Oh, yes, it can. No, it can't. Because 1 and 2 is only 3, and 1 and
And
5
1
is
and
6,
5.
but there's no 7 or 4 to go with. Or 7
Okay.
or, yeah. So, if it's 1 there, it has to go to a 2.
Which isn't ruled out.
Right.
Isn't super restricted. Yeah. 1 5, 6, 2 5, 9, and or 5 there. Places 5, one of those positions. Now you can't
That
put
can't be a
1,
1.
and it also can't be a 3. Because if it was a 3, it would pair with a 4, which would make this a 6 7 pair, which is 13. Too much.
Right. Well, and 4 doesn't have anything to pair with now.
Could this be 6 7? 3 and 4 is 7,
Yeah.
which allows for 8. Okay.
So now where does 1 go in that column 7? Only one spot.
Yep. 1 there. So that's 6 1. 6 out of over here. Well, if this ends up being a 1, that would be a sum of 2, which it can't go down to 1. It would have to be a 3. Now, this is minimum 5. So that makes the circle minimum 4, which takes 2 out of the left side of the ren band.
And the ren band that's horizontal there in box 3
Yeah.
can't be 7 8, because if it's 7 8, then you're left with 6 9 for the other ren band.
Alright, so 8 comes out of them. Well, now 9 automatically comes off, and so does 8. And 7 and 2 is 9, which is still too much, because the maximum on here is 8. Okay.
Ah, but if the elbow on the arrow is a 6,
Mm-hmm.
it would have to pair with the 2 to make 8, making the circle a 7. Oh, nope,
But the
that would be 8 9.
7,
That would work. Oh,
Well,
but
this
7 doesn't have
7,
anything.
yeah, and neither does this 4, because now this is even and this is odd.
So that cannot be a 6 on the elbow.
Because this would end up being a 4.
Right.
If this was a 5, that would be a
5 and
2,
2 is 7. Right.
6. But if
But
it's
2,
not a
3 works
5,
for the 4 or the 5.
right, except 4 would pair with 3.
Right.
So this can't be a 4, can it? Because this would have to be 5, which would have to be 2, 3, but 4 and 7 aren't consecutive. This is a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9. And, well, this could be 2, 3, or 5 and 2. So,
So 2 comes out above. It has to have a 2 in it.
right. 2 and 3 or 5 and 2. These aren't 7s. Not a 7 and those aren't 6. Huh. 6 ends up on here. And it can't be 6 and 1 to make 7.
Can't be 6 and 7.
Right. Because that's 13. 6 and 3 is 9, which allows for 8. And 6 and 4 is 10, which allows for 9. 7 ends up here. None of these are 7. Now, these can't be a 4 and a 3, because that would just be 7 left over. If this was a 4, this would be a 6, and this would be a 9. But that would break this here.
Right.
So this isn't a 4. Now this is a 3-6 pair. And 3 and 6 is 9, but this isn't allowed to be the same, so this is 8.
And that 3-6 pair goes up.
Take the 3 out of here. 8's out of there. This can no longer be a 9.
And above it can't be a 4 because of the 4-7 pair.
Can't have 4s.
Oh, I missed that other one.
Okay. This cannot be 9, because then this would be a 2, 3, and this would not be able to be anything. So either this
Right.
is 8 and 9, or that is 8 and 9. 2, 3, 8 triple makes this a 4, and this not a 4, and this is a 4, that not a 4, and this isn't a 4, so that is. All the 4s are done.
Row 2 has left 1, 2, and 3. The
And this
circle
can't be
can't
a
be
1,
1.
because that would be a pair of 1s, but then it would see itself. 2, 3 means this is a 1. Takes that out and that out and places a 1.
The circle in box 1 with the 2 or 3 in it,
Uh-huh.
It can't be a 2 because it would have to sum to 1 or 3. And to be 3, that would have to be a 2, and the 2 would see itself. So that's got to be a 3. So that has to sum to 2
2 or
or
4.
4. And it can't
But,
sum to 4.
yeah. One, 4, 9, 2, and 3. 6, 3, 1, 5, and 4. Well, this clearly can't be a 2.
1 and 5 is 6. 1 and 6 is 7. 1 and 7 and 8. 1 and 8 is 9.
Although, you can't do 1 and 8 to make 9, because you can't subtract 1. Because this is a 1, this has to be 1 more than this, I think.
Right. Well, it would have to go. 9 would have to pair with the 8. And 1 8. Yeah, so you can't do 1 8.
Because you can't take this and subtract 1 from it, because then that would just make those two the same. So it's this plus 1 to get that. 1 and 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 makes this a 2 or a 3. 5,
Which
6,
resolves
7,
stuff
8,
going
9.
across the row.
5, 2, 6, 3, not a 6.
Okay, maybe not much.
7, 8, 9, I think. Match with those two. And then left over in this row.
5, 6,
1,
7,
2.
9.
And this can't be a 5, because it can't connect up. This can't be a 9, because there's no 8 down here.
And now there's only one 5.
That goes here.
And
7
5 and
has
2
to
is
be on
7.
here. Makes 8.
Makes that 8.
This is a 7, so this is not. And 7 can't pair with 9. So 6 and 8 and 9 and 2 to make 10. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. These aren't 9s. This isn't a 6. This isn't a 6. 2, a 9. 7, 8. This has to be 6 on its own. And 1 and 6 was 7, plus 1 is 8. So this is a 7, a 5, an 8, a 9, a 2. These aren't 7s, so that is 6, 8 pair, which leaves 9 and 5, I think. 7, 8, it's not complaining at least. This is now a 2, 3 pair, which makes that 8, 9, 3, 4, 6, 8, 2, 6, 2, 3, 2, 3, 9, 7, 9, 6, and we're done! Hey, that wasn't too bad. That was a good puzzle. I liked that one. It was hard to think about, but it wasn't too difficult, I don't think.
Right. Just had to think a little harder than just the straight arrows.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, that is the end of the recording. And then, but yeah, alright, anything after while we're still streaming?
Not that I can think of.
Alright, then, good night, everyone. That is the end of the stream. End.